Hey guys, I just wanted to make this video. Actually, I've been wanting to make this video for a while because a lot of people have been asking me for the last 9 or 10 months, whatever, since I guess it would be Necro Settlers, since I stopped playing Path of Exile to take a break after 12 years of playing. And people have been asking me what I've been doing since then. And the answer is a lot of things. Mostly playing video games. Some good ones, some not good ones. Mostly, I think, good. As you can tell by the thumbnail. Nine Souls, first one I played. Very fun game. I like Metroidvanias and platformers, those kind of things. Game's very hard. I didn't complete it. I beat the first 2 or 3 bosses and stopped playing it for one reason or another. Probably something having to do with RuneScape. There's gonna be a lot of RuneScape stuff here because I've been playing a lot of RuneScape. The other one is Cobalt Core, which was pretty fun. I like games where I don't have to do very active gameplay. I like to be able to do stuff while I'm doing other stuff, which is why I like my build in Path of Exile, because I can map while watching videos or sometimes even playing other games, or talking to people. And if I have to be like actively engaged, it can be hard to do that with a lot of other games. So Cobalt Core is cool as a turn-based deck builder, basically, but also like a spatial awareness thing, kind of like Into the Breach. It's very fun. I beat the game a couple times, I think, or at least the base game. I haven't unlocked everything. There's a lot of stuff to unlock in that game. A lot of characters, a lot of ships, a lot of different combinations, all that. This is also around the time where I moved in with my buddy, who I met when I moved to Vegas. And he taught me about a game called Origami, which, because I had expressed my interest in the game a long time ago, I loved, called Tenchu, which is all about like old school style assassination, espionage, in Japan, like ninja shit. And that was really fun. I don't think we actually beat it. We got to like the last few missions and kind of got sidetracked, as I do with a lot of things. Also going to be another running theme, not finishing stuff. Otso, whatever it's called. Uh, Very Hotline Miami style gameplay, which was pretty cool, except unlike Hotline Miami, you're in for longer playthroughs. Because Hotline Miami, I like that you go into a mission and you just run in, you do stuff, you fail, you just start over immediately and just start the mission over. Otso is much longer playthroughs and a little more way more RNG dependent, since there isn't a lot of RNG in Hotline Miami. It's fun. Like, it was cool for a while, but it got boring a little fast for me, I guess. Around that time, also, Path of Exile 2 came out. And as I've said before, I wasn't super excited because I knew for years that it was the kind of game that was not made for a player like me. But they said in the beginning, Path of Exile 2 was going to be slow, it was going to be hard. And me, like, I like the fast-paced, easier gameplay of Path of Exile 1 with my build. So I went into it knowing I wasn't going to enjoy it as much as Path of Exile 1, but it was cool. I do like the game. It's very well made, for sure. The boss fights, especially. Really cool. Very cool visuals, very cool mechanics. Everything about it, very cool. But yeah, I got to the end game, did a bunch of the stuff there, and it was just kind of whatever, and I wasn't super enjoying it, and so I stopped that pretty quick. Around that time, also, Leagues 5 came out in RuneScape, which was my first league, actually, in RuneScape, and I didn't think it was going to be the same as like a league in Path of Exile, which it kind of wasn't, but kind of was. I really thought the boosted XP rates are cool because they let you try stuff that you normally wouldn't be able to do, or at least not in a normal time frame. Having early access to raids and bosses that I normally haven't done or normally wouldn't be able to access allowed me to learn mechanics and stuff that I really needed to learn, uh, especially about things we're doing now currently. A little after that is when Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 came out, which I love the original Heroes of Hammerwatch. I've put hundreds of hours into the first one. Played a lot of characters, got to like new game like 20, 25 plus or something like that. I don't know. It's really fun, especially with other people. They added a bunch of patches to it to make it more fun, more quality of life stuff, more interesting. And so that was pretty cool. Rift of the Necrodancer was the next game to come out, and that I wasn't super excited for originally, but when I started playing it, as someone who's been a fan of rhythm games for over 18 years now, playing ZDR and ITG since 2007, I thought it was a very interesting and cool take on rhythm games with extremely difficult reading challenges since everything's based on the different enemy types. And also, I love Crypt of the Necrodancer, and so having that like motif, the enemies and the music and stuff, like kind of remixed for that style was really cool. And they've been coming out with more DLC, which also has made me interested in other things like later Pizza Tower. After that came out, I started my first real boss grind of RuneScape doing Zulrah, and that took me too many tries to get down. Zulrah was really fucking hard for me. Died a lot, and I was getting like really bummed out trying that boss. But eventually, after like a few dozen tries, I got her down and started learning the rotations and stuff, and started killing her normally. Everhood 2 came out after that, and I was kind of excited because I really liked the first Everhood. That's a fun like anti-rhythm game with really good music. Everhood 2 is just really lackluster by comparison. Wasn't super into it and didn't finish it. Then my buddy told me about Repo came out, which sounded really silly. I never played what's that game? Lethal Company that a lot of people were playing, which I guess is like the same game basically. But playing Repo with other people was pretty fun. Different monsters, different missions and stuff, but without any real goals and like no achievements or like any storyline like that, it was just kind of like whatever. It's just fun to do sometimes with other people, but in general, kind of lost the edge really fast. Also around that time, the Galaxy Brave event for Dance Dance Revolution came out, which I was super excited for because I really loved the Babylon's Galaxy event last time in DDRA 3. And we got some cool songs, and months later is when I finally beat the first challenge chart in that, Blizzard of Arrows, which also a really cool song with a really cool chart. But since I've been going back and forth with like health stuff, kind of hard to work on that too. But that was really cool. After that, after I think 370 something kills on Zulrah, I finally got my Tanzanite Fang, got my blowpipe, and that enabled me and my group Iron Man buddy dog to actually do some stuff, like a lot more stuff, a lot more accessibility with other things. Like blowpipe just opened up a whole nother fucking world for us, which is really cool. We still use it regularly with tens of thousands of scales we had, which were now down to I think under 20,000. And around that time, so in the interim, me and my buddy, he's a fighter and he'd been training me to fight. And one night we were kind of messing around and training and stuff, and we've been drinking a lot, and I was kind of baiting him a lot, and he got a really good left hook on me and actually broke one of my ribs. So that kind of health-wise took me back a bit. That was in late March, so that took about almost 2 months to fully recover from. So that kind of sucked, but I got to spend more time at home, I guess, when I was not just in constant pain. And since I was stuck at home, I spent a lot more time working on RuneScape, and that's when my buddy started running Tombs of Masket more. And Tombs, my first like real raid. People call it the easiest raid, which I think is true because you just run low invocations and just ramp up as you can. And as Iron Man, we're kind of like gimped by gear, but we've been pushing pretty hard. We're up to like together 235. We had a really clean run tonight. We could definitely do higher. But we tried Insanity the other day, and that was not fun at all. My hand still hurts thinking about it. But we're mainly just hoping for a Fang, just to be able to push that more and start doing some more hard modes. After that, or during that actually, me and my other boy Eric, we were working on a Calamity run in Terraria, because I hadn't done that in a long time. They did a lot of updates in like the 4 years since the last time we had done it. It was fun. It was really hard. There were some bosses we definitely struggled on. We did the entire thing on Revengeance mode, except for, I believe it was the Moon Lord, which we had to tone it down for the first kill We had to tone it down to normal, so expert mode, to kill the Moon Lord to get one of the drops, which enabled us to kill him on Vengeance mode. And then all the other bosses, aside from that, we killed him the first time on Vengeance mode with whatever drops we got before that. And that was fun. That was very hard. I don't think I'd do death mode. Like that already pushed my skill to the limit on that game, but it was really cool. I like the updates they did. Music's really good. Visuals really good. Boss fights are really cool. Devourer of God's probably still one of my favorite fights. Then RuneScape Dragon Wilds came out, and I already knew it was gonna like when it was announced. I already knew it was gonna be basically RuneScape flavored Valheim, which isn't bad. Like Valheim itself was just like Nordic flavored Rust or whatever, some survival game. They're all you got one for every flavor. So it was cool. Like I played it with some of the guys from work, and it was fun. There wasn't a whole lot to do. We blew through the whole campaign really fast and did everything. Got all the skills like level 50 or whatever, and it didn't matter. So the game's pretty bare right now, but when they get more content put in, I saw today they're having more stuff put in. That could end up being really, really cool. But for now, I'd probably just recommend waiting unless you really want to see what's in there. Like, it's fun to run around RuneScape stuff, but it's not like that RuneScape. At least not old school RuneScape. I don't play RuneScape 3. So if you're into like RuneScape 3, maybe it's better. I don't know. Slowromancer 1.0 came out after that, and I've been playing Slowromancer for 4 years. I've been using, much like Path of Exile, the same build, just giant balls that bounce around everywhere with the Primordial Kavir Sword Reaper. And my build basically still functions the same. So we'll run all the stuff. Although watching some other guy's video, I found out tech where since Kavir, the Primordial Kavir disables your critical hits from dealing critical damage, having the critical ultimatum makes it so you actually sets it to 240%. So you just get a 2.4 multiplier on your damage for free. So that was cool. But otherwise, yeah, game still, it's single player. Like that's the big problem. Slowromancer's single player. Until they put multiplayer in, it's just going to be like whatever, Like it's fun to run sometimes just for fun, but again, without any interaction with other people, it gets kind of dull fast. Hydroneer I got into because of some YouTuber I started watching who does like 100% Run Shiny Do. His videos are fun to watch, so I started playing some of the games he played, and that one looked chill, so I was playing that because I like playing like Factorio and stuff like that. Not a big fan of Satisfactory for some reason, but it was a chill game to play. It was cool. Just watching number go up, basically that kind of thing, but not like big. I didn't finish that either. I just did like the whole mining portion and just kind of got bored of it. Didn't want to do anything more. Then my buddy got me to get the Headliners, which literally is just Pokemon Snap with deadly aliens, which sounds stupid, but it's actually fun. You go into like these timed missions. You run in, there's aliens like attacking the city, and you're supposed to like find them, take pictures, try not to die, or if your buddy's around, one of you can take the death and they can get a really good shot and just grab your camera and you run out with it, and it can have some really fun, intense moments and get some really cool shots. So actually, I like that game a lot. I'd probably like to play that more of that, but we don't play too much of that anymore either. But I'm looking forward to more content on that too. And Pizza Tower. So Rift of the Necromancer came out with the Pizza Tower DLC, and I had been hearing about Pizza Tower for a couple of years, and the game looked cool, but like I wasn't really into Wario Land or whatever back in the day, and people were saying it was like, oh, Wario, blah, blah, blah. And then like when I was playing the pack in Rift, like listening to music, the music was really, really good. So then I started actually looking at real videos of the game, like, oh, this is way more like old school Sonic, which I love Sonic when it came out. Like I got Sonic when it came out, and that was probably one of my favorite games at the time. So I've been playing that a lot too, and I beat the game on that. Got some like boss runs, working on the challenges for that. I'm still working on that actually. Like that game's that much fun. Like I want 100% that game. It's that good, and the music's really, really good. Then the guys from work also got me playing Planet Crafter, which it's like it's very similar like how I was playing Astroneer, except I feel like Astroneer was better in general. Like there's more stuff to do in Astroneer, and I feel like the story progression was more cool in Astroneer. But Planet Crafter's cool. I don't know. I might keep playing it. And then me and my buddy Sparky and Eric, we started another Barotrauma run instead of running the Barotraumatic mod, which I don't know if you're familiar with Barotrauma. You're basically piloting a sub, and either you or a group of your people can like take different jobs on the sub. Like, one's piloting, one's manning the guns, one's doing medics and all that stuff, and you can like dabble in different things. But it's a really, I feel like it's a really high skill cap game, but it's really fun. I've never been able to complete a run on my own, so it's really good for me to be able to do this with other people. And Barotraumatic adds a lot more content, a lot more enemies, more missions, more types of settlements, and I think it makes the game harder. It definitely seems like the game's harder than it used to be, but it's still really cool. Very spooky. Again, good music too. It's like got that eerie kind of vibe going on. We're still working on that. We're only on like, I think, the third or fourth biome. Then recently the Switch 2 came out, which I didn't think I was going to get because there's been like limited supplies, and like on the Nintendo website they said or they didn't say I was eligible for the pre-order. But then the night before, like, my buddy told me they pulled a whole pallet of Switch 2s off. I didn't even know we were getting Switch 2s at work. So I went in the morning and there was only 15 people online, so I ended up getting one with the Mario Kart World. And the Switch 2 feels nice. Like, hardware wise, it feels way better than the Switch 1. Everything feels more robust, it's bigger, it looks better, it feels better to use. And Mario Kart World itself, it looks great, it plays great. It's definitely like a very Mario Kart game, just with more stuff. And I really do like the open world thing because one of my favorite games, racing games back in the day, was Road Rash 64, which had a very similar principle, whereas it took place on like a giant island, and each of the races took place on like a stretch of road, and as you progress the campaign, that road gets longer and longer and longer, however you go. And Mario Kart World does kind of the same thing, which I really like. It's cool, but nobody else I know has a Switch 2, so I haven't really been able to play with anyone else except for my buddy and or his friend he brings over, and haven't had like big gatherings yet since that came out. So I haven't been able to do like the whole party thing. So that was I kind of regret getting a Switch 2 day one because it was just like $600 just to sit there and do nothing. And then after that, the last big event that's happened was I finally got my first pet in RuneScape, which is this bad boy over here. I got my beaver. Got him at 1 million XP woodcutting, which, yeah, definitely wasn't expecting that, considering agility is something I train way more than everything else. But I was super cool. I was super excited, I wasn't expecting to get a pet. My first pet I was planning to get was actually Zulra. I want to go back to Zulra, actually try to get the pet Snakeling. And that'd be really fun. I really want to do that. But yeah, we now have 11 and a half hours until 3.26 comes out. And I am super excited. Like, watching the release the video and like reading the patch notes, my build didn't get nerfed for once. It got nerfed like 5 or 6 patches in a row. And this is the first time that all I see is a buff because mercenaries, well, first of all, Enemy Guardian's not going to die anymore, which if you've been paying attention to my build, Enemy Guardian normally doesn't die. Like, I know people talk about it so squishy, but if you're paying attention to me, like, I build in a way it doesn't die, and I do very dangerous content. It's very rare all of an Enemy Guardian die. But now you don't have to worry at all. You can throw your 11 div, Kingmaker on it and not have to worry. Or I think I put 50 Divine double curse gauntlets on it, or triple curse gauntlet, yeah, because I'd give my Enemy Guardian Wind Scream and double curse Vixen's Entrapment. So that way it could run triple curse setup where I throw a curse on it and it applies 2 more on top of that. Usually I think vulnerability and enfeeble or temporal chains, and I self-cast Poacher's Mark, I think. I don't know. It's been a long time. I actually should probably really cut my build, figure it out for tomorrow. But yeah, that'll be cool. Like at one-time cost, not have to worry about it. Mercenaries also sound really, really damn cool. Like even the worst mercenary is a straight upgrade because in the worst case scenario, it's free damage. They're gonna die. Who cares? Doesn't matter. You pay to resurrect them with some gold, probably doesn't matter. Probably cheaper than paying for mappers at least. But hopefully there'll be something like a kind of aura bot maybe, or does not necessarily an aura bot, but a mercenary that has an aura that's beneficial, like I don't know, even precision or haste or any kind of defensive thing to help keep me alive. That'd be really cool. But other than that, like new endgame bosses, I can't wait to kill those. I love seeing new bosses; they're always really cool. New expansion, we haven't had one over 3 years. That's crazy, actually. I'm excited to see the new league, the Synthesis 2.0, whatever it is. I know it's not really like that, but it was a long time since Synthesis. I didn't really like Synthesis that much. It was too involved for me back then. That was before the Dervish. Like I didn't really have fun with PoE until the Dervish. But yeah, that's that's what I've been doing for the last like 9 or 10 months. Just playing games and doing physical training and working a lot. So I will be going to bed and probably streaming tomorrow right before league start. And hopefully I will see lots of you there because it's going to be a very, very good league. And yeah,